I'm Holland Reigns for NorseMedia.
NorseMedia.
For NorseMedia.
For NorseMedia.
For NorseMedia.
For NorseMedia. For NorseMedia.
NorseMedia TV.
You're watching NorseMedia TV, broadcasting from the campus of Northern Kentucky University.
So NorseMedia is, we call it curated media, as in myself and Sarah Dravick, who's the director of NorseMedia, we work with student workers to produce content. That content may or may not be featured on our television station, which is also just known as NorseMedia.
NorseMedia's content is focused on connecting our campus with the community. So we do a lot of coverage of campus events to share with the community, but we also do a lot of coverage of things that NKU is involved in within the community to bring some of that back to campus and kind of share that as well.
I'll film NKU Gives Back is what I call it. It's all about community service stuff. So if a sorority or fraternity on campus has raising money for a foundation or something, I'll go cover their event. I also do a lot of producing with alumni videos and chamber videos for Northern Kentucky, more outside NKU stuff. I also used to do programming where I focused on like student spotlights, where I would interview students, ask them kind of why they chose to come to NKU, what they want to do in their career, that type of thing.
We also do a lot of content more for on-campus entities. We work with students to produce the alumni award videos every year. Sometimes special needs that different departments or programs may have as far as video work goes, we also do that as well, depending on the nature of it. We tend to be more narrative story focused as opposed to, hey, we need a lecture filmed, will you come film it? Well, that's not exactly what we do. It just kind of depends on what that lecture may be about and if we can kind of make a story out of it.
My name is Alexis Poulos. I'm an assistant professor here at NKU. Some general classes that I teach are media genre. I taught this last semester on monsters in the media. I also teach games and culture and some lower division EMB classes, introduction to media, and then communication theory. This semester I'm teaching a first-time class on board game design, which addresses the general mechanics and design and production of board games.
Because a lot of the things that we harp on in our production classes and EMB is don't just do stuff for class. If you're just doing projects for class, you're not getting the full potential or the full experience out of things. Because on average, you might only do about 4 projects per class, maybe a little bit more depending on what it is. With NorseMedia, it tends to be that you're doing a lot more projects and a lot more variety to projects. And they're not all short films. It's actually going out and interviewing people. It's going to Italian Fest, Yetta Fest, some of the cons that are in the area like Comic-Con and stuff like that, and actually talking to people. The things that you might be doing much more practically once you leave here.
You're gonna learn valuable things in class, but you're gonna learn more valuable things on set. You're gonna learn how to work with people. You're gonna learn the ins and outs of all these little nooks and crannies of video production that you might learn in class, but you're gonna learn that more when you're going out and shooting videos with your friends or doing short form documentaries or any of that. Don't just do classwork and think that that's gonna land you a job outside of college. As an electronic media and broadcasting major, it's an extremely competitive market. There's tons of other college students in the area that want jobs as well. And our market's isn't incredibly huge.
Welcome to the premier event of Welcome Week here at Northern Kentucky University. We're here at Fresh Fusion. Every single year, every single student organization will line up around Loch Norris for the freshmen to check out. And hopefully by the end of it, they can pick one of their own. Let's check it out.
I knew that this was going to be the best opportunity to prepare myself for the real world and to learn as much as I could. while still working professionally, if that makes sense. So I knew that I would be working with faculty here on campus and that they would be able to give me critical feedback of the work that I was doing, the work that I was producing, and how I could get better. And so I saw this as a learning opportunity.
I think the most important thing about the experience for student workers and for volunteers for NorseMedia is that it is a real-world experience of working with clients, whether your client is someone who is here on campus or possibly another organization within the community. So not only do they get to go out and film in the community, which of course is experience filming and whatnot, but they will also work as the liaisons with the actual clients. They'll sit down at client meetings, they'll go over proposals, they'll put together scripts, they'll go into viewings of rough cuts and take feedback from them to go into the fine cut. So I think it's a really unique experience they don't necessarily get in the classroom.
It's definitely, it's forced me to do work that I probably wouldn't have considered doing before. And now that as I look back on it, I'm a junior, I'm gonna be a senior, reflecting back on it, I can see that this work has been extremely beneficial. I probably wouldn't have thought of doing like short form documentaries about different students or even really thought about doing like clientele work or any of that. And through NorseMedia, I've kind of learned all the aspects of each of those.
I always love every opportunity that I can to get my hands dirty, so to speak, in any sort of production stuff. I started in high school doing some video stuff, and before that I wasn't sure where I wanted to end up, and then just realized like how much I loved it. And then when I came to NKU, I'd always thought about NorseMedia, and then just kind of seemed like one of those things, right place, right time, and just a really good place to work on my skills.
I'm not gonna pigeonhole myself to one thing. Like, I'm not just an editor, I'm not just a videographer, I'm not just a producer, I'm all three. So thus my bosses can trust me to do assignments, or I might have to do all three.
I think the most beneficial thing that I've learned is that you can't stop learning. There's always something new. There's always new technology. There's always new equipment. There's always something that can still be learned, whether it's through the events you're covering, you're learning about people, whether it's getting your hands on a brand new camera that most people don't have yet, learning new editing software. I've learned how to teach myself a lot of things as well.
Okay, when I first joined NorseMedia, I felt really confident in my video production skills, but working under John and Sarah, as well as working with other students that had the kind of same skill set as me, there was always somebody there that had like an extra set of eyes to analyze what I was editing or what I was shooting, and to kind of call me out and keep my ego in check, which is, you know, one of the biggest things I've learned is don't have an ego in this field. Just stay humble and everybody will like you.